Hey everyone, we're here tonight to talk about a new knife from our friends over at Zero Tolerance, the 0308. We think it's going to be pretty cool, so let's get an unboxing. Let's do it.
All right.
We didn't open this one up first.
Yeah,
So.
we opened a different one.
Can we do a tapping drum roll?
Just tap on this.
I refuse to tap on anything this way.
So what makes this one so special? Well, we're about to find out, right?
It's the continuation of the 300 series, kind of not the same chassis, but the same kind of idea behind it. So it's a monster.
What's that? That little logo there?
I don't know. Designer? I honestly, I know very little about this.
It doesn't have a designer thing on it at all.
No, it doesn't. So
That is snazzy.
So size-wise, it's right in the neighborhood of the old 300s, which I collected. I had the 300, I had the 301, the 302, 303.
300 black wash.
I had the black wash. I had whatever the
Oh.
serrated. No, there was like 8.
Did you have this rated one?
I had a few one here and there. Like I had a 301 ST.
Yeah.
Like the tiger stripe one. So I had a couple serrated variants. And I had every plain variant. So this is the 302. The 302 had the desert tan in the original 300 chassis. But this is, I think it's
I like that blade.
comparatively, I think it's great compared to the old 300.
The recurve was not for everybody, but I do like this big blade.
It's weird. It's like a combination between this blade profile and this blade profile, and you somehow get this blade profile.
Do you just combine the two?
Well, they
Well, it's
when two blades like each other a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
this blade took this one off.
it's a very high flat. A very high flat.
Nice little harpoon at the top. When I opened this up, I thought, my first thought at least was that it's everything I wanted
Out of this,
this to be.
Which one is that one?
that's the
562 Ti.
The 562 Ti.
Yeah, which is a great knife. It just, I don't know.
I knew what it was. I just talk a lot, so I try to shut up as much as possible.
Feel free to post your comment below. What I noticed with the flipper when you handed it to me was there's a lot of flippers where you have to flick while you're flipping, to get it. You flick and it comes out
You'll
third.
You kind of give it a little.
Yeah, you got to do the little. Yeah, this one. I mean, I barely touched, and that's what I love about a good flipper is the action is so. I don't want to say loose, but it just.
Most ZTs are on ball bearing, so they're going to have that smooth action.
And especially all the modern variations are kind of. So the reason we brought out what we did is I grabbed this one just because this is what in the top 3 of their best-selling knives. So I figured this is the 450.
The 450.
But this is in their top 3 best-selling knives of last year. So most people watching this will be familiar with this, other than not. I grabbed this one and this one just because they have the same steel, and as far as heft, these felt the closest.
What kind of steel is it?
This is 20 CV, which is not, if you're familiar with ZTs, this one, and this one are all 20 CV. And I grabbed this one because it is the same price point. So these are both $300 minimum advertised price.
I'd much rather have this one.
Well, I mean, I even said earlier when we were talking, if we were doing a review on this knife, I'll sit it out because I got nothing to say.
That's good
It's got
steel.
20 CV. All right, I'll see you guys later.
I mean, if I have $300 burnable, a hole in my pocket, I don't know.
I'd rather buy 2 of these.
Strong
You're not wrong.
opinion alert. Feel free to weigh in on the comments below.
I just don't know what's going on with this. I know we're talking about this knife, but I just don't know. Look at all these little holes that they
It looked
added.
like it was designed by committee.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh, we need this. Well, we need a solid chassis. No, but we have to have G10. All right, so we'll do both. Okay, so we got to have it just.
Too busy.
You need the hole there in case you stab someone or have the idea that you'll stab someone, and then these holes are speed holes, and they focus group really well.
No, it's
They
for getting
focus group
peanut
real
butter
well.
stuck in.
For peanut butter.
When you get making a sandwich,
Well, isn't this supposed to emulate a bayonet? That's that's why it's called the 223.
Sure.
So it's supposed to emulate a bayonet, which I don't know. I mean, I guess in theory, it sounds like a good idea, but bayonets are mass-produced, millions-made pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you won't really emulate that,
looks
but
like
Maybe
a K-bar.
is it like fashion over function? The collectability.
that's how I feel about
that'll
that.
sell to a lot of people who
But-
love their bayonets.
And it sounds like I'm just trashing on ZT, but I'm not. It's only this knife.
you love ZTs.
I've had 2 or 3 of these.
Lost one.
I've had the carbon fiber variant of this. I've had 2 of those. I've had almost every variant of this, of the
You had
daddy
a
of
350
this.
to start out with.
Yeah, my very first ZT ever was a 350, and then I had a mud.
Oh, you had a mud.
A mud.
Yeah.
That's
Mud.
great.
Yeah.
Mud.
Here's a little bit of a difference of design there.
The 300s always had nice machining on the titanium side.
Yeah, it's
So
always
this
had
brings it back.
Yeah, busy textured titanium. on the
Yep.
backside.
Busy textured, yeah.
It does
And then
go
it's
on.
got that mass in the ass, so it just
I just don't
splits right
understand
open.
why they put that gap in the handle.
right here.
Did they not want it to be so much 300 that they wanted to add or take something away?
Little-
And then, like you said earlier, this little weak spot here too.
Yeah,
maybe it's like go ahead.
It does get well because the pivot is going to be the main
Yeah.
point of stress on any folder when you're really beating on it, and it looks like if there's going to be a weak spot in this entire
Right
monster, it's going to be that right there,
Yep.
which is right by the pivot, which is the only thing that might worry me. But
And it's a terrible clip.
Do you worry about stress crack there?
I mean, if it's gonna stress crack anywhere,
Yeah.
I would
There.
probably I don't know,
Right there.
It is titanium and it's not thin, but it's just not a great idea.
but yeah.
I don't think.
I guess that
I would have just done it on the top, not on the bottom.
Maybe it's a sight glass, so you know when the blade's out.
Ooh, hello
Ooh,
guys.
does it have a purpose? So you know when the blade's out. Is the blade out on this?
I'm not sure.
Hold on, let me check. Ah!
It works. See, you just wave your hand over it. You got a lot of people doing that.
I am currently Sans ZT, and I think you'd really like this knife.
Well, I'm looking at it, and I see the speed hole, similar to speed hole and
Yeah,
speed
yeah.
hole. I think they're trying to get more into the fact what they could do, their whole marketing gimmick, the factory custom.
Yeah.
And customs have all these weird kind of holes and intricacies.
Unique hardware
Unique
that you can't
hardware.
adjust yourself unless you, I don't know, get a wrench and scratch it up real
Pliers.
nice.
That's what I don't understand about this knife. If I had to give it because I really like it, but if I had to give it one ding,
Non-standard hardware.
yeah, I mean, what's I mean,
could cast
torch isn't
that.
that rare. What's wrong about that? Why did you go away from that?
Was the other ZT that they made that you had to buy that special tool for the pivot? It like came separate that you had to buy.
Shit, I don't
It
even remember.
wasn't the 801,
Feels
it
good
wasn't
in
the 804, but there was one specific one that you had to buy a separate tool for because the pivot was like
850.
it was it? I don't remember. I'll have to look it up later. But there was what are you doing?
Very visible.
King of the pile.
King of the pile.
But I mean, I think price-wise, between these two, they're both $300. I think it's no contest.
Yeah.
I mean,
without
I
a
guess
doubt, yeah.
stylistically, style is always kind of a relative thing, and it's always different person to person. But
What you're
I
saying
mean,
is
this
that's
has
in the,
got to be in the low
There's-
20%.
Yeah.
Would prefer this over this. I mean, size is the only benefit you get, and you're paying the same money, and you're getting the same steel.
Materials.
How long do you
yeah.
think it'll
No.
be before they discontinue it?
This, it's done in
This year?
2021. Yeah, this is its last year for sure.
It came
We've
out
sold-
last year.
Yeah,
One, we sold one.
We've sold one.
We now have more.
This I think has staying power. I think the S35 stuff is either going to switch over or slowly get phased out.
Yeah.
Because I think people are getting wise to it.
Wait,
And
they-
now with S45 coming out, people are going to be souring on that S35. Oh, the new hot shit that probably also sucks. is
Well, they
coming out.
downgraded like the 770, they downgraded the 566, and then they discontinued them because they just don't sell
Yeah.
anymore.
What was
so-
the 562s came out in that short, super like accidental run of LMAX? Was it 562s?
No, it was the
Or was it the
550s.
550s
Doug
came out?
had one.
That's right.
That was one that cut the bands on the CNC machine.
Yeah, that's
Chad's
right.
got that now.
I got a question about this. About the steel specifically. So, like, you're saying S45 is new, but, like, there's
Yeah.
S90, there's S125.
Uh-huh.
So is S45 just like a compromise between S35 and S90?
Well, S35 was supposed to be superior to S30, but in edge retention, it's not. If you look at the chemical makeup, we were just looking this up the other day. The number almost seems
Misleading.
it almost seems irrelevant to the performance of the steel because it's not harder than S30. It's actually easier to sharpen, which was supposed to be a selling point for it. But the other side of that is, it's easier to sharpen. Well, guess what?
I don't need that.
It's easier to dull.
I've never had a knife in S35, so I don't have any experience with it. Whereas you have.
Well, see, an S45, I mean, maybe they're trying to correct the perceived, what I perceive as a problem with S35.
Yeah.
I would hope S45 is an attempt to correct that and bring it back to at least the durability of S30, if not S60.
But then all those makers like Chris Reeve and Hinder and Strider that
exactly.
use S35, you think they're going to switch to S45?
I don't know. Well, Chris Reeve would probably be a holdout since S30 and S35 is like, they have a hand in development.
Yeah.
So they're probably hard to leave unless they were probably, I would imagine if they're developing S45, they would have come to Chris Reeve and be like, well, hey, you had input on the last few.
right? Yeah.
Maybe put it in, but it's not Reeve anymore. You know what I mean? He's not there. It's not his company anymore.
Yeah.
So then are they still coming back to Chris Reeve? Because obviously they're going to be a huge client because the percentage of stainless knives to Damascus knives they make it's got to be 90-10.
Yeah.
Even if they switch out of S35 for these and they go to 20CV or whatever,
Oh, they would sell so much better.
they would sell better. But
But
then
the price is a good jump.
they're going to jump. You look at D as a whole, and then what do they have for their steels they're using? S30 and 20CV.
That's all they use.
and that's literally it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would like to see a little more variation in the line.
So the 462, which is the curve one, the other sync convention model that they do, is $20 more. So for $20
Yeah.
more, you get a funkier design, but you also get that better steel.
That's the swoop.
Yep.
No, that's 20 CV.
Yeah, it is
The red
20.
carbon
I would have
fiber.
grabbed
So
yeah,
for
and it's
220
almost
or maybe
exact
40
length.
bucks,
Oh,
like
it's 40
20
bucks. It's
is it
260.
20
It's
so
Okay.
40
260.
bucks, you get a
Yeah,
better
it's
steel.
Okay.
But most people are willing to make that jump for that better
For $40, I mean, especially if you're going to carry the thing for as long as these knives last, if you're going to carry that thing for, even if you're going to carry it for 4 years, so you spent $10 a year and you're going to sharpen it,
a lot less.
yeah, like for every 3 times you sharpen S35, you're going to sharpen 20 CV once.
Yeah.
I do like one stylistic change they've done on that knife that I'm not seeing in a lot of other ZTs. Stonewash.
They do stonewash on a lot of knives.
I
They
know-
got a lot of hand polish going on the
Or the-
grinds.
Yeah, but they
the
don't
two-tone.
on that one, and
That
I
is-
really like that.
That is stonewashed even on the grinds.
All the way,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I enjoy that
I-
as a photographer.
I do too, but there's something nice about just a
The
high
two-tone,
polished
it's like,
blade. That's
it's like black
all the
on
fingerprints.
signs.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and that also makes it look very mid-tech.
Yeah.
Very, very custom.
This may have been a
folder-ish.
little bit nicer if they had done that flat spot, just polish that. That may
Oh,
a
like
little
high side polish it?
bit- Yeah, a little bit more. It would have been nicer.
Would have given a little bit of detail,
Yeah.
a little bit of high
They paid
end.
a little bit more attention to it.
More high speed, low drag.
Yeah.
I mean, if
it
they can
just,
do that on all the other models, do the satin and stonewash two-tone, then why
Did they
couldn't
do
they go
holes along the spine? They
Yeah,
did.
yeah, they
Why?
did.
there? It's two-piece G10, isn't it?
Yeah. It separates
Yeah.
down the back.
Yep.
I mean, I would assume. Otherwise, they've got
They got
a
a
seam
seam.
there for no reason.
That knife is just so unappealing to me.
I don't.
It's silly.
Well, there's so many stylistic choices I don't understand about
They're-
it.
Instead of leather, they have the leather-esque G10 on there to mimic kind of like a bayonet or a K-bar. I understand that. It's a stylistic choice. It's not necessarily...
Y'all are gonna feel real stupid when you figure out that that thing attaches perfectly to the end of an AR-15.
If you duct tape it on.
Well, maybe if you hammer it in this way,
What about the holes along the back, man?
Oh god.
you just run paracord through it.
Yeah.
No, that won't
Lord.
burn
But then
off.
when you go to close it, you're going to cut the paracord and you're going to lose your knife.
So when you look at these two, are you getting any kind of materials-wise?
Nope.
Is there any value increase here?
I would assume this is all titanium.
Titanium,
It is,
G10,
yeah.
titanium, G10, 20CV, 20CV.
I mean, you're getting
Yeah, okay.
more titanium here and less G10.
you get more blade on this one.
Yeah, but you get more blade.
Material-wise, I feel like it's a wash.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. You get what I feel like is I don't necessarily like the clip on this knife. I've had over the last 3 years I've had a love-hate relationship with ZT's clips.
It's a little bit better than this one.
Yeah, this is the reason I had to have 3 of these because the first 2 I lost because of that shit clip. This one I think is the best clip they've come up with
without a
in a
doubt.
long time.
Without a
Shit clip is a registered trademark.
Well, okay, and this
It's
is
a company.
because this is it'll come loose, but it ain't coming out. You have to lose a
The
screw.
knife's gonna fall apart before that comes out.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the most secure clip they've had in quite a while, aside from the solid milled titanium ones.
Yeah.
But I think overall, at least that has the strength. You know what I mean? Like the
3 points instead of 2.
yeah, like the OG Benchmade clips.
Yeah.
They're ugly,
Yeah.
but they're strong. You say whatever you want about it. It's a
You can
pretty
have
it's a strong
2
design.
screws and it's still going to stay in and
Yeah,
not move.
exactly.
If you're really worried about it, I'd be willing to bet you can get aftermarket clips for that very easily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're probably available pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
if you carry
yesterday.
for that, yeah.
I almost wonder if it would work on the same way that the Benchmade ones do, where you can
deep
take
carries?
the deep carries and the outside tube.
I'm sure.
That would be
Yeah,
wise,
I'm
but I
sure.
don't know
would be
if ZT
smart.
figured it out.
But they have ZT has such an odd, like they have
There's
non-standard
no
clip variations.
continuity
Like
there. Yeah.
I mean, we have tons of ZT clips that just kind of hang around because, I mean, you can't find anything to use them on. Jesus, they don't. They know they fit this one knife.
Like how some of them have logos and some of them don't, and the logos are all different.
Yeah, like zero tolerance. ET. All right.
So what's the
General
overall
consensus.
verdict?
$300. I think that's a good deal. The 300s were $272 map last time that we sold them.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty sweet knife, and you get a much better seal for that.
So yeah, so you're going from S30 to 20 CV, and you're looking at a $28 jump.
Yeah.
That is not a big ask.
And anybody who is a ZT fan is usually willing to spend the money on
Yeah.
ZT.
And
So-
you're getting rid of the spring assist, which gives you a little bit of a reliability jump.
Yep.
And you're getting ball bearings, which is you're getting a nice little technology jump there too,
Yep.
back on top of what's current in the market. So I think for an extra $28, this is a great successor to the 300
Yeah.
series.
It is a big knife, but they have a lot of really large knives in general. The 452, the 462, even the 393 is a little bit on the bigger side for some people.
Yeah, I almost grabbed that one. I just grabbed just based on
We could
length
turn the
and
lights
price.
off and found it in the dark.
The reason I bought my first 300 was because it was the largest folder we had on the wall at the time. And I thought, well, then I guess
That's the one. Yep.
You know, it looks like it's going to be a good slicer. There's a couple ZT designs that I really like, and there's a lot that I don't, simply because I feel like they're really busy and they're trying so hard to be relevant and look a certain way that they sometimes, to me at least, miss the mark. Like this one's like, let's have really busy G10, let's have really busy this, let's put a hole here. Let's have a spear point, but there's no real function for that top there except stylistically.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
is
know.
true. Without bringing it out to the tip, you're not really getting that fine stabbing point that normally this is for.
It's just
It looks-
stylistically, and it's just like, me too, me too.
Well, it does
Could
look
be weight
nice.
savings.
And if you look at the top, look at all that material right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
It
a
is
chunky
thick.
tip.
You're getting a strong tip.
It could be saving a little weight. I mean, who knows? Maybe they, decided they checked out the balance and they were like, we need to lose a
Yeah.
little weight, but we don't want to make a weak tip. How about we just
Do
take a
little
chunk out of
something
it?
I dig it. I like it.
I do too.
I think it's cool.